Chosen one. This is not just another message to excite your emotions. This is a heavenly decree, a prophetic activation. You're not watching this by accident. You've been tracked, not by men, but by the kingdom. Heaven has been watching your silence, your sacrifices, your battles that no one saw. And today, the reason behind all of it is about to be revealed. You are not just surviving financial hardship. You are standing on the edge of a divine shift, a shift that will break chains, not just for you, but for every name connected to your bloodline. This isn't about chasing success. This isn't about flaunting wealth. This is about purpose, legacy, obedience. God is not making you rich for appearance. He is raising you to become a distributor of divine provision. You've been asking, why has my financial life been so unstable? Why do I feel called to more, even when I have nothing? Here's the answer. Because you're not just anyone. You're the first to be entrusted, the first to carry what generations before you could not. The first millionaire in your family, not for pride, but for purpose. And if you've ever felt spiritually targeted, if you've ever wondered why nothing came easy, this message will shake you to your core. Because now you'll understand. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared. Like this video right now if your spirit is already stirring. Subscribe if you know this is your time to rise. And in the comments, type 99, because 99 represents the end of lack and the beginning of overflow. It's the signal that heaven has found you ready. Let's go deeper. From the very beginning, you carried something different, and even before you could speak full sentences, life started speaking to you in lack. You watched the lights get shut off. You heard the arguments behind closed doors. You felt the heaviness in the atmosphere of your house, that silent tension when bills couldn't be paid, when dreams shrank into survival. But here's the mystery the world never told you. That wasn't just your struggle. That was your assignment being born. You were never ordinary. And when hell saw the blueprint written over your spirit, it knew you were a dangerous interruption to generational cycles. So the attacks came early, but they were never about what you had. They were about what you'd one day release. The enemy wasn't trying to make you poor. He was trying to rob your vision. Because once a chosen one sees clearly, once they remember who they are, they stop begging and start building. Your entire life, you've been shadowboxed by systems of scarcity. Patterns that told you money is evil. Mentalities that shamed success. Religious spirits that taught endurance but never empowerment. But the real warfare, it wasn't around your wallet. It was around your awakening. Because a chosen one with financial understanding is not just stable, they're dangerous. They fund vision. They plant seeds. They set captives free. And hell knows, once you break free, you won't come out alone. You'll bring your family. You'll shift the bloodline. You'll turn everything hell built into ashes. That's why you were attacked in the invisible places. Not on stage, not in the spotlight, but in your thoughts, in your childhood, in your identity. Because if the enemy could distort your self-worth early, he could delay your financial destiny indefinitely. But what he didn't count on was your resilience. Even when you didn't understand it, you kept showing up. You kept holding on to something you couldn't name, but your spirit knew there is more. More than surviving. More than repeating the same paycheck-to-paycheck patterns. More than hoping someone would come rescue your story. No, you weren't born to be rescued. You were born to rebuild. And now the blueprint is awakening. Piece by piece, God is unlocking memories, strategies, and spiritual codes that were embedded in your pain. Because the tears you cried were never wasted. They watered the soil for what's about to grow. And listen closely. The enemy is panicking now, because what once oppressed you is about to fund your assignment. Heaven is moving. But this is just the beginning. What's coming next will expose the true reason your hands were fought so violently. And once you see it, you'll never see yourself the same again. Stay with me. The revelation is just beginning. Let this truth sink deep into your bones. God is not trying to make you rich. He's trying to make you trusted. Heaven is not recruiting millionaires with flashy egos or shallow ambition. He's raising managers of eternal wealth, people who understand that every coin, every connection, every door is a tool for divine impact, not a trophy for personal pride. Chosen one, this is where most people miss it. They pray for abundance, but they still crave approval. They fast for breakthrough, but their hearts are chained to applause. And heaven cannot pour treasure into a vessel that leaks through insecurity. The kingdom doesn't bless to impress. It blesses to build. And only those who've been refined in silence, those who've chosen obedience over optics, can carry what others would mishandle. You've been hidden for a reason. You've been passed over for protection. Because if elevation had come before purification, the platform would have crushed you. God doesn't just test your hands. He examines your motives. He watches what you do when no one is clapping. He sees how you steward the little before he multiplies the much. And if you're still chasing attention, if your self-worth rises and falls based on who notices you, then hear this with love. You're not ready. But if your heartbeat is aligning with purpose, if your secret prayer is, "Use me, Lord," even if no one sees it, then get ready. Because what's coming next doesn't respond to force. It responds to alignment. The doors that are about to swing open won't open because of your name. They'll open because of the weight of your assignment. You are not being called to entertain. You are not being called to prove. You are being raised to govern, to restore what was lost, to oversee what heaven is releasing into the earth. This is not a game of followers or fame. This is about becoming a divine conduit, a channel of provision, order, and influence that leaves heaven's fingerprints wherever it moves. And here's what makes you truly dangerous to hell. You don't want the blessing for you. You want it to bless others. That's why God has been testing your patience, shifting your priorities, pulling your roots out of worldly soil. Because kingdom managers don't operate by hype. They operate by strategy. They don't move with emotion. They move with instruction. You'll know them because they ask different questions, not, "How can I gain more?" but, "Lord, what do you want to build through me?" Not, "How can I be seen?" but, "How can I serve?" These are the ones heaven can trust with keys. These are the ones hell can't predict. Because they're not triggered by trends, they're driven by truth. Chosen one, your calling is weighty. It is royal. But it is not for show. And this is why your process has been so intense. God is not preparing you for a season. He's preparing you for a mantle. You're not being trained for a moment. You're being refined for a movement. So if things around you seem slow, if doors you thought should open have stayed shut, don't panic. Heaven has perfect timing, and when it happens, you won't need to fight for your seat, because you'll be the table. But listen to this carefully. This next season won't come with crowds. It'll come with blueprints. And if you pay attention, you'll start to see that what you thought were delays were actually designs. Designs to protect the weight you're about to carry. Designs to shape a heart that won't be seduced by success. Designs to build a spirit that governs, not just survives. Get ready. Because in the next part, you'll understand why this wealth that's coming to you will come with fire, with strategy, and with a heavenly assignment that cannot be faked. We're just getting started. You've prayed for abundance. You've cried out for provision. You've asked God to bless your hands. But chosen one, before he can fill your hands, he must first purify your heart. The wealth that's coming to you isn't common. It's sacred. It is not payment for your pain. It's an assignment for your purity. This is not about numbers in a bank account. This is about carrying heaven's blueprint in a corrupted world. And that kind of provision, the kind that births legacies and shifts generations, comes with a spiritual price. Not everyone is willing to pay it. That's why not everyone is trusted with it. You're not stepping into riches to be celebrated. You're stepping into warfare disguised as wealth. Because every dollar you touch will carry weight. Not just financial, but spiritual. It will speak. It will echo. It will multiply impact or amplify ego. And that's why God is taking his time with you. He's not slow. He's intentional. He's watching how you respond to small increase. He's measuring how you handle seasons of silence. He's examining your motives when no one's applauding. Because provision without purification is a trap, and too many have been destroyed not by poverty, but by unprepared abundance. Kingdom wealth is different. It doesn't show off. It builds. It doesn't scream for validation. It establishes order. It doesn't follow trends. It creates systems. And God won't place that kind of power in unsubmitted hands. You've been praying, Lord, increase me. But heaven has been praying over you. Lord, refine them, cleanse them, anchor them. Because if you skip the fire, you'll mishandle the gold. Let me be clear. This wealth is not for ego. It's for eternal assignment. It's not for spending. It's for sending. You are not being called to collect. You are being prepared to construct. And yes, it will come with strategy. It will come with connections. But it will also come with pressure. Because anything heaven places in your hands will also demand heaven's level of discipline. Are you ready for that? Are you ready to say no when the world tempts you with shortcuts? Are you ready to remain hidden when your name could be pushed forward prematurely? Are you ready to give generously, even when your flesh wants to store and hoard and protect what you've waited years to receive? This is the spiritual price. You must learn to walk with fire in your hands, without letting it burn your soul. Because when God blesses, he doesn't just give, he entrusts. And what you do with the blessing will either open gates for generations or reopen wounds that were finally closing. You're being trained not for comfort, but for capacity. And there's something you need to know now. The weight you're about to carry is the very thing that broke others who came before you. Not because they weren't gifted, but because they weren't grounded. Their pride cracked what their anointing started. Their lack of discipline aborted the mission. Their desire to be seen poisoned the purity of the call. But you will carry what others dropped. You'll hold the line when it gets heavy. Because your blessing won't come from emotion. It'll come from alignment. You're not here to make noise. You're here to build a structure that hell cannot collapse. And that requires more than vision. It requires spiritual precision. It requires clean motives. It requires patience. It requires courage to walk away from what looks like a shortcut, but feels wrong in your spirit. This is the price. This is the purification. This is the cost of being chosen to carry kingdom provision. And now, God is about to show you why every delay was protection, why the silence was strategic, why your wilderness wasn't punishment, but preparation for a flood that's about to arrive. In the next part, you'll finally understand why you were marked to be the first, not the flashiest, not the fastest, but the one who would finish what others abandoned. Let's keep going. You are not just another name in your bloodline. You are not here to extend history. You are here to interrupt it. Everything about you has been different. The way you think, the things you question, the fire that refuses to go out, even when no one else understands it. Why? Because you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to begin something new. You are the first column of a new lineage, the first to see beyond survival, the first to feel uncomfortable in systems your family settled for, the first to say, "This ends with me." You are not here to repeat the patterns. You are here to break them, rebuild from the rubble, and plant what was never planted. And yes, it's been lonely. Because trailblazers always walk without footsteps to follow. Your parents might not have understood you. Your siblings may have questioned you. The people around you may have looked at your ideas with disbelief. But that's because they never carried what you carry. You are the one marked to carry what generations before you could only dream about. They prayed, they fasted, they cried on their knees, but they never saw the promise. You are the manifestation of their prayers. You are the answer walking in flesh. You are the seed of redemption. You are the bridge between what was and what will never be again. What they lost in pain, you will recover in purpose. What they couldn't build, you will establish. What they didn't understand, you will teach. And what was lost in silence, you will proclaim with fire. This is why the pressure on your shoulders has been unlike anything you've seen around you. This is why your warfare hasn't made sense. Because your battle isn't just for you. It's for them. And for every generation that will come after you. Listen closely. You weren't born into that family by mistake. You were sent there. As a divine assignment, as a disruptor of darkness, as a reformer of broken foundations. You are not repeating cycles. You are burying them, once and for all. You don't carry your last name, you redeem it. And while others before you settled, you saw a different future. You felt it. You couldn't ignore it. And even when you tried to downplay your vision, God kept waking you up at night. Because He wasn't done. He had placed something in you that could not be inherited. It had to be activated through obedience. The truth is, you don't fit in because you were never designed to. You've been misunderstood, rejected, overlooked. But not because you were weak, not because you were wrong, but because you carried something too heavy for them to comprehend. You were marked with answers they didn't have language for. You were born carrying a voice that breaks atmospheres. You were assigned a mantle that doesn't echo tradition. It declares transformation. And maybe you've asked, why me? Why do I feel the burden for everyone's healing, everyone's progress? Because you are the first. You are the pioneer. You are the opening gate, the fresh stream, the key that unlocks doors no one else could open. And yes, the pain has been deep. The betrayal has been real. The isolation has been unbearable at times. But God never said you would walk this with comfort. He said you would walk it with power, and that power is now stirring. Because something is rising in you. A boldness, a fire, a clarity that can no longer be denied. The legacy before you was incomplete, but what's coming through you will be unshakable. In the next part, you'll see why the wealth tied to your name isn't a gift. It's a structure waiting to be born, and only you can build it. Let's continue. Chosen one, you were not sent here to sit still. You were not born to wait for miracles to drop into your lap. You were summoned to build, not with fear, not with delay, but with divine precision, with the eyes of a reformer, with the spirit of a builder. This is the season where your hands must move with heaven's rhythm. Too many have confused waiting with obedience. But there is a difference between stillness in God and stagnation in fear. Let me say this clearly. You are not in pause. You are in position. And now the trumpet is sounding. You've fasted. You've prayed. But now, it's time to plan. It's time to write the vision, to pick up the blueprint, to map the structure, to organize the chaos. You cannot keep asking God for overflow while refusing to build a system that can hold it. Heaven is not blessing empty excitement. Heaven is blessing order, discipline, wisdom. This is not the time to be mystical without movement. This is the time to build with holy intelligence. You've been called to establish something that outlives your name. You will be a business owner, but not to feed your pride, to fund purpose, to open gates, to release others into their assignments. You will be a financial liberator, but not with flashy sermons and hollow dreams, with strategy, with structure, with spiritual authority. You are not here to impress the world. You are here to construct heaven's footprint in the marketplace. You will speak, yes, but what you build will shout louder than any words ever could. The deals you close, the systems you launch, the people you employ, the families you lift, all of it will carry prophetic fire. Every contract you sign will be a seed of freedom. Every dollar you invest will echo in eternity. Because you're not investing in trends, you're investing in destiny. And don't expect the world to understand this. They've never seen someone build like you. Someone with fire in one hand and blueprints in the other. Someone who prays and pivots. Someone who listens to heaven and still knows how to manage a spreadsheet. That's the kind of builder God is raising now. A hybrid, a holy strategist, a prophetic architect. And he's calling you to rise. You've waited long enough. Now the scrolls are being opened. Now the strategy is being downloaded. But the next level will not be handed to you. It must be stewarded. You're not going to stumble into greatness. You're going to build it, step by step, decision by decision, sacrifice by sacrifice. And listen closely. You are not too late. You are not behind. You are right on time for the construction of legacy. You're not here to watch revival. You're here to engineer it. You're not here to wait for opportunity. You are the opportunity. You are the system. You are the solution. So get ready, because in the final moment, you will understand exactly why God delayed no blessing, only waited for a builder bold enough to carry eternity in their hands. Stay with me. The final word is coming, and it will leave you changed forever. Chosen one, hear this like a trumpet from heaven. This is not a suggestion. This is not inspiration. This is your activation. You were never chosen to chase trophies. You were hand-picked to establish testimony, eternal, unshakable, undeniable. The wealth coming to you carries the seal of heaven. It was never meant to make you loud. It was designed to make you lasting. You're not a status. You're a sign that restoration is real. That legacy can begin with one obedient soul. That generational pain can bow to one person who dares to say, "It ends with me." Everything you lacked will now become a seed of revival. Every tear you cried will become a blueprint of power. Everything you build from this moment forward will carry the DNA of divine intention. This is not the time to second guess. This is not the season to shrink. You've heard the call, and now you can't unhear it. You've seen your assignment, and now you can't unsee it. You've felt the weight, and now you can't avoid it. You are not permitted to play small anymore. The kingdom is counting on you, not to impress, but to impact. And the real wealth you carry, it's not in currency, it's in your clarity, your character, your commission. This is your line in the sand. The moment everything shifts. From, "I hope one day," to, "It starts with me, today." Go now, comment below. I am the first, not out of pride, but out of purpose. Let the atmosphere know. Let the kingdom echo it. Let hell hear it and tremble. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. Because this isn't entertainment. This is divine instruction for those who are done with average, done with delay, done with excuses. This space was created for the marked, for the dangerous, for the ones who build altars, not just platforms. This is your moment. This is your mandate. This is your legacy. Now go. Build like heaven is watching. Because it is.